all about me asking a young woman why she couldn't be 60. She was arguing, of course, that a man could be a woman. So I said, well, you're 21. Why can't you be 60? Well, now people are actually doing this. They're actually claiming that they are trans age. I do wonder sometimes whether the left hears itself. So over in Florida.
Okay, can I address this argument real quick? Okay, let me start with this, okay? Every single person on the planet, every single person on this planet believes in trans age, okay? To start with. All of us think that trans age is real, okay? The issue that these people have is they don't actually use their brain when they're engaging with the question. And to be fair, people on the left has super muddied the water on what it means to be trans, okay? When we talk about what a trans person means, okay, hopefully, if we're still in the world of reality, okay, in the world of reality, a trans person's brain could be sexed differently than their body, right? So if that is the case, you're not just randomly identifying as something. There is a fact of the matter about the state of your brain, okay? When I talk about the trans age thing, when we talk about age is typically a signifier for other things in your life. For instance, when you hit a certain age, you have a certain amount of development. When you hit a certain age, then you're allotted a certain amount of rights when you get to the age of majority, right? So for instance, at 18 years old, you have the right to own property, to go have sex, to go do whatever the fuck you want to do at 18 or 19 in some states. I think in Nebraska it's 19, right? However, in the United States, we recognize that some people's brains don't actually mature that way. In a way, we kind of treat people with severe mental disability as like trans-aged down to a younger age. We might treat somebody that has severe autism or crazy Down syndrome at 30 years old like they're only 6. You might actually do that. Or we might say this person is age 25, but because of a developmental disability, this person is treated essentially as a 15 or 16-year-old. Like this already happens in the United States where we revoke rights from people or we assign permanent guardians to somebody because their brain hasn't matured as much as like the age they have, the age that their actual body is. So when somebody's like, oh, like trans age, it's so stupid. We kind of do treat people as different ages based on like developmental delays or other sort of problems, okay? However, you can't just say that you identify as a different age, okay? Because that doesn't make sense, right? Age is typically, if it's not gonna be a signifier for like actual like physical development, age is just it's just a number. Age is it's an actual thing that measures like how many times the Earth has gone around the sun while you exist on the planet. You can't just identify that away, right? I've been alive for 11 years. I can't identify as being alive for 30 years. It doesn't make sense. It's nonsensical. It's like identifying somebody with 4 or 5 arms. You can't do that. But for a trans person, the argument is that their brain is actually sexed differently. Their brain is sexed differently than their body. So it's not just that they're identifying as trans, it's that they are trans. Now, whether or not you believe in trans people, that's fine. If you say, oh, well, I don't believe that trans people are real. I don't believe that, I don't believe any of that. Like, that's fine. If you don't believe in trans people, you think it's all fake bullshit, that's fine. But at least engage with the argument as it is. That's the argument as it is presented, all right? How are brains sexed differently? Could you elaborate? The argument goes that your brain has some sort of sex. Most people's brain sex aligns with their body sex. Your gender identity, your gender expression are the same. That's like most cis people. But for trans people, for whatever reason, something has happened to sex their brain differently. Where their brain is sexed as female, even though their body sex is male, right? Now, whether that's actually true, or whether there's other like things at play, obviously is still to be researched. Like this is all debated. Like trans stuff is like pretty new in terms of research, everything. Nobody's got a concrete answer. But that's like in my opinion, that is the strongest argument for the existence of trans people. The self-ID stuff and all that other nonsense is just that. It's nonsense. It's garbage. Like who cares? Except not anymore, Destiny. The mainstream talking point is that you don't need gender dysphoria to be trans. Whoever says that is a fucking retard. Ignore them. Who cares? Those are extremist trans losers that are just trying to be trans because they're trying to collect a whole bunch of fucking virtue points on Twitter. Okay, the people that do all this stuff where it's like the people that do all this shit where they're like, oh, like anybody can be trans, you identify, blah, blah, fuck all those people. Nobody cares about those people. Okay, fuck them. Okay, they're all fucking losers. It's just a bunch of white people on Twitter that need some sort of oppression in their life to feel like they have an opinion that matters. Okay.